When more people want to buy a financial product than those who want to sell it, the price of this product rises. On the other hand, when more people want to sell a product than those who want to buy it, the price goes down. These are called supply and demand zone. By understanding this concept, we can identify areas on charts where trades are likely to occur. These are areas when there is a war between the buyers and sellers. For example, a bank wants to buy a certain product. He sells aggressively. All the big marchers and the small ones like us join this. We make the price drop significantly and give the bank the option to buy the product he wants in the amount that suits him, and also take our money on the way. It calls liquidity. I will expand on this later on. To be a successful forex trader, it's important to grasp the concept of supply and demand. After all, it's what drives this market. I will progress through the material, so it is important not to skip and understand every topic. Each topic connects to the topic after it. When I say POI, I mean point of interest, supply or demand. If you have any topic that you don't understand, feel free to ask me in any time. In this chapter, I want to show you supply and demand in the most simple way. So as you can see, we are in a bullish trend. I want to show you a clear demand, so I will mark this break. As you remember, when it goes in the same direction, it's called boss. So after we identify where the structure was broken, we can clearly see this big candle that caused this break. It gave us confirmation that this is our demand. This is where the buyers took control. We will mark it like this. This is the last candle before the candle that broke the structure. This is our demand. I want to show you another example of supply. As you can see, the trend is still bullish. The whole trend is now changing and going to a bearish trend caused by this break. We can clearly see this big movement to the downside, but you can also see this big candle that shows that the sellers are currently in control. So we will mark our supply this way, also the last candle before the candle that broke the structure, and this is our supply. We can identify the supply and demand by the sharp price movement, but to identify the specific candle for the signal, we can look for the candle before the sharp move. The candle can be full and without wicks, or it can be the opposite, very thin, consisting almost only wicks, which show us the war between the buyers and sellers. It's called a doji candle. Most of the time we will see it, we will mark it. It has a lot of power. It shows us the war between the buyers and sellers. This is a very strong sign. I wanted to show you an example of a doji candle. So as you can see, we are in a downtrend and we have not one but two breaks to the upside. And it shows us that the buyers are in control. This is where the sellers and buyers met, in this doji candle. And in this case, the buyers won. When the buyers give an order, they have to complete the gap created. They return to this area of the doji candle, and from there buy back all the profit they took. I will expand on this topic later on. So as you can see here, we are in a downtrend, but I've noticed here a small uptrend which broke and continues the downward journey. Here we can see the trend being broken by these impulsive candles. You can clearly see that this is our POI. The sellers did complete their gap created by their sales, as in the previous example. After they completed all their gaps, they simply continued their journey downwards. So as you know, we have demand and supply. This is our POI. I want to show you the right way to approach it according to my strategy. We will mark our POI so that is divided into two. Our confirmation works when it reaches the half of this POI. There are many orders in these areas, so we will always enter a trade from the half of the POI to avoid early entries and failed trades. And we will mark it like this. Even when the candles reach and touch the POI, it doesn't mean that we start acting accordingly, but we are waiting for him to touch his half. To be a successful trader, you must have patience. You will have to learn how to control your emotion. I will explain on this subject more in the psychological part, but this is very important. This is something that you must practice on a daily basis. It might be a little early, but I won't go into all the details, but I just wanted you to feel the graphs. This is my trade from a few days ago. I usually start my day on charts at about 9 a.m. I'm waiting to see a massive change in the price movement. I remember waiting quite a while, but I didn't do anything until I saw a movement that I was waiting for. Then around 11 a.m. there was a sharp movement to the downside. Of course you will progress in the material and you will understand everything. But right now, as you know, I'm looking for the doji candle before the big down move. But we have here two of those. In this case, I will mark this doji. There is a gap here that they will fill in later. I mark our POI in this way. And now we have to wait for the graph to reach its halfway mark. And at 3:30 p.m. it touched exactly this point. After that, we go down to a smaller time frame. And here we are waiting for the same break, in fact the same analysis in the lower time frame. I also mark the supply this way and wait to enter the trade only when it touches this line in the middle. I put my stop loss at 3 and the take profit all the way down. This trade took me less than 2 hours. I remember it was 7 p.m. and I had already closed this trade. It was very close to the take profit I've placed, so I decided it was enough profit for me. I closed the trade with a very nice profit, something like $15.